Hey, welcome back, everyone. How are you all doing today? It's our end of the day market recap and top-down analysis. All right. So let's get straight into it, one after the other. First off, we're going to start with the trade that we took today. We're going to be kicking off with gold as usual. Before we talk about, what's it called again? This guy, DXY, and then we talk about euro dollar, Kiwi dollar, and then we wrap up for the day. It's going to be a very short video as usual. So without further ado, guys, let's jump straight into it. So first off, don't forget where we started off this week. All right, we kick off this week with gold. All right, when we actually saw gold around here, and I said let's wait for a decent pullback to this zone where we can actually take a very nice buy to the upside, and that kind of happened I think around Tuesday and Wednesday. It happened on Monday, literally like mid New York market on Monday, after the whole preparation for NFP and all, and then we got in right here. Currently, the market is at the top here. Okay, if you took this trade, just hold on to it. You can, as a matter of fact, trail it a little bit. Just put your stop loss at break even, something like that. I think it makes sense that way. However, I'm still taking some, intraday buys on gold. So first off, as you can see right here, the market on the 15-minute time frame, we have this move to the upside, a pullback, and market just kind of like just tilt all the way to the upside. We've seen some break of structure around here. We've seen some very good lower high. Excuse me, higher low, higher high, higher low, a fresh high right here, and we got this pullback around that Asian market. I took a buy. All right, let me see if I can extend it a little bit. All right, I took a buy around here, right here, and the market ranged for a very long time. It ranged for like 6 to 7 hours before New York market kicks in and the market just went up. All right, it went up and went up like maybe 2-3 hours straight, and afterwards it just started coming down. You can see what happened afterwards. So I got trailed out around here at around maybe 180 pips, so to speak, which was quite good. Anyways, so that is how today's intraday trade kind of play out. But when you take a look at what we have right here on the swing plan, and we have that, you can see that gold is still trying to mitigate. Okay, it's trying to bargain with this supply zone right here, which is also our all-time high, around that 43.87 thereabout. Moving forward, the plan is to potentially, okay, just wait if we're going to get a retest of this all-time high right here, or even further to break above it. That is also very possible. All right. However, if that failed to happen and the market find it very difficult to break above there, then we might end up seeing a retest of this particular zone. Okay, we might end up seeing a retest of this particular zone right here, this resistance, and support. All right, we might end up getting the retest of this particular zone. All right, so that is something I will probably be looking forward to moving forward on good. So you might want to pay close attention to that as well. So moving back to Euro USD right now. All right, so on Euro dollar, as you can see, I took a short trade on Euro dollar earlier today, and the market actually moved very well to the downside. I shared the trade this morning. I recorded the video this morning, and I shared with you. And I'm not sure if you get it. If you get it and get into that trade, I'm sure you're probably kind of feeling like, okay, what's the point now? Because as you can see earlier today, right, the market dropped and went back up. The same thing that kind of like happened to gold, right? You know, the usual pump and dump. Okay, that's what a friend of mine called it this morning. So pump and dump happened on euro dollar as well. If you take a look at this on maybe 30 or 15-minute time frame, you will see it very clearly over there, a pump and a dump. But overall, I would say that I'm still leaning on, this short sell on euro dollar just to come back to this particular region. Maybe we're going to get a continuation from there. All right, we have a very, very a very, very strong supply zone here, which actually got destroyed in a way. You can see those kind of weak candlestick pattern there. All right, we have an hammer there, this particular pin bar. Okay, that bearish pin bar right there. So that is a very strong one. However, if I'm going to make this pattern looks quite good, okay, I would say we have a channel here, kind of like a bullish channel, that expanding channel that fades away. Okay, it got broken to the downside and then got retested. Now it is just potential, or it's just a matter of time to say it actually dropped down. Now, if it's gonna drop down, I'm not gonna be sitting on it for like forever. Like, okay, it's gonna crash or it's gonna do whatnot. All right, I will simply just wait for a retest of that particular zone. Let me make this very obvious. Yeah, a retest of this particular region before we can now decide on, are we gonna hold it to retesting this particular zone here, or it's just gonna push all the way to the upside from there. However, right now, I think there's a high possibility of us getting the retest of this particular zone. All right, this previously used resistance, and now potentially going to be used as support. All right, so that is just my take on euro dollar right now. Short sell. Let's see if we can get that. Then at this particular junction, we know what to do next. Okay, so that is that on euro dollar. I'm still kind of holding that one. Let's see how it goes. It's a counter trend trade, not for everybody, as a matter of fact. So that's that. On Kiwi dollar, the same approach that I just discussed on euro dollar right now is the same thing. I'm kind of like focusing on Kiwi. Okay, so I just took a short earlier today, also here, kind of like a late entry in a way, but it makes sense. I wasn't really planning to trade inside this box, but the zigzag pattern that I'm waiting for is still very much. I mean, it's gonna happen. It has a high chance of happening, but when that is going to happen is when I don't know, is what I don't know. But I mean, I'm not going to force it, I'm not going to stress it. I have a 30 pip stop loss above here, so if market push all the way to the upside, I would gladly take the loss and move on with my life. All right, but if that's not the case, I want a better move to the downside. This three-wave pattern. Okay, we've already had 1, 2, maybe a longer leg, then push to the upside, and then maybe kind of like wave 4 right here. Then we have the market kind of like move to the upside, or probably make a very small move down here, probably try to trap something here, grab some liquidity before you fly to the upside. But what I'm actually focusing on is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, something like this. Grab here and then move to the upside. Continue. Okay, just continue the bullish momentum that already started. All right, so just watch out for this. We have, I don't want to call this a wedge pattern of sort, but it's something. There's something right there, and you can see the same thing happen to euro dollar as well when the market break below that lower bound trend line. Okay, and we have a divergence here. So that is also quite significant to kind of like watch out, and also kind of played into the reason why I'm kind of taking all this counter trend trade on all of these dollar pair for now. So watch out for all of that. Now DXY, the grandfather of all of them, and where I'll be wrapping up today. First off, don't forget tomorrow we have the CPI data in the United States. All right, tomorrow is Thursday, right? Is it tomorrow that we have CPI? Yes, we have CPI tomorrow for sure. So we have CPI tomorrow in the United States, and then we have unemployment claim. All right, so this is going to be very interesting for the Kiwi dollar, NU, and EU. All right. So also we have ECB press conference as well tomorrow. That's also very important to watch out for. The United Kingdom, the Bank of England, okay, planning to cut rate by 25 basis points. I don't know. That's why I'm actually staying away from on GU for now. But I think I shared a short trade on GU. I think maybe on Tuesday or something like that. But for now, I'm just kind of chilling on that one. You know, nothing's actually starting on GU for now, in my opinion, because of the interest rates for the rate cut that will be happening in the United Kingdom tomorrow. All right, but we're still going to have to watch, to wait, to be patient, to see how this all play out and see how we can capitalize, how we can better plan ourselves moving forward. Okay, so that's where I'm seated right now on the United Kingdom economy, and that's I'm not really talking about the GU. All right, that I kind of shared with you earlier before we talk to DXY. So let's actually take a look at the GU. Yeah, this GU right there. Okay, it's still very scary. Okay, everything kind of like made that pump and dump earlier today. All right, you can see the same thing that happened to EU is still happening to GU. I mean, you can't move it, you can't get that past this highly correlated pair. EU and GU, they're very correlated. So I think that's just normal. So let's go back to DXY. I think if you're trading EU and Kiwi dollar, you don't need to take GU, in my opinion. It's just more like tautology. You're putting the same thing because they both kind of move the same. So DXY, largely bearish, very scary to look for buy opportunity right now. And I'm currently betting on, shorting euro dollar, pound dollar, Kiwi dollar, and gold as well. I'm not shorting gold, I'm buying gold actually. So, but I don't know. Right now, everything on DXY actually kind of like scream bearish. All right, seems like let's sell, further sell off on DXY. But at the same time, I'm seeing a divergence here. All right, I'm seeing divergence here. And when I see divergence on 4-hour time frame, I don't really play with it. Okay, I don't really like to play with it at all when I see divergence on 4-hour time frame. So I might be giving it a shot at a break above here, something like this. All right, just to mitigate the particular supply zone before the sell-off continues. All right, something of that nature is possible. So what happened to CPI tomorrow and the unemployment rate in the United States? We actually play into these very well. So you might want to watch out for DXY. So 2 trade plan. Okay, a continuation of this downside. That's number 1. That's the first play, and that's the easiest play. The second play would be watching DXY actually cross above 96, 97, 98, 99 region, back to retesting this 99.40, and then this supply zone here, and then just drop all the way down to the downside moving forward. All right, so that's the second play. So the first play right here and the second play right here on DXY. So watch out for both of them, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Euro dollar is still short. Kiwi dollar, dollar yen actually make a very good jump today. I'm not sure it came back down, but I'm still holding my buy on dollar yen for sure. I think we should talk about that. I think dollar yen has vexed, officially vexed, and I don't know why I didn't buy from the bottom here again, but I guess if we get another move to the downside, I might buy. All right, buy dollar yen. But I think this is still very good. Okay, I said this morning that if it breaks below here, then that would be the sign for me to actually go short on dollar yen. Anything above here, okay, all I'm just worried about is the Bank of Japan intervention, because I know it is coming. I don't know when, maybe around 156 or 160, but the intervention is coming. If you check the weekly band, dollar yen is heavily at the top right now. Let's actually take a look at it together. It's retesting, I think, what year is that? The demand zone that is, the supply zone that is being retested right now on dollar yen Yes, this is 2024, right here 2024, and right here 2025. Yes. So right here we have 2024 high, okay, and that's July 2024. And at the top here, you can see the market is actually very close to that region, and that should be around November 2024. Okay, this is July 2024, November 2024, and this is now December 2025. Okay, so I think we can get a retest of this particular region. UK, I mean, Bank of Japan intervention with Japan intervention or Bank of Japan intervention, we actually start rolling in this particular region. They're not going to let it go. Okay, 165, 160, and 158. Okay, those regions you might start seeing some manipulative move on the yen pairs because Bank of Japan will definitely intervene. So watch out for that. But right now, I think I have a shot at 161, 160 for this particular buy that I'm holding. So let's watch out for this. Okay, this is the weekly band. Okay, and you can see the structure is actually very decent. We have a demand zone here. We have a supply here. That should be July 2025, July 2024, excuse me. And I'm expecting to get mitigated before the intervention comes in, and then we're going to get another push to the downside right here, possibly. So guys, that is where I'll be stopping today. I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Have a good day. Bye for now.